everybody, it's the weekend, it's the Mighty Glue Stick. My name is AJ, nice to see ya. It's time for another monster video. First of all, on the topic of the monster video that I've got lined up for you today, um, it's zombies. And I want to make a special shout out to my friend Oliver over in Australia. Congratulations on your roaring success of your Kickstarter, which is, I think it's not even a week in and it's most of the way funded. Those of you who haven't gone and ordered a copy of the Infected Zombie RPG by Immersion Studios, I do recommend that you follow the link that I've got in the description down below and go and pick yourself up a copy. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's really good. Juice has posted a link on the One Shot group on Facebook as well, so go and check it out. Alright, zombies. Now, the main thing I want to talk about with zombies is I haven't really covered any undead yet, and I love undead in D&D. I think they're one of the core groups of monsters in the games is all the undead. I've had the book of, darkness and all the stuff, all the things I have had for D&D. And I like the way that they're basically stuck to the basics of what zombies are in D&D. The main interesting thing about zombies in D&D is what they're not. So if you look at all the modern zombies that you have these days in popular culture and things, zombies are brain hunting creatures that have been infected with a disease or some sort of chemical or something like that, which turns them into zombies. Zombies are not like that in Dungeons and Dragons, and they never have been. They don't crave brains. They don't go and hunt people because they want to eat them. They just want to kill them. And it's not so much they want to, they're just driven to kill them because they are animated by the forces of evil, by evil energy. Now, this makes zombies interesting for various reasons. One, they're not intelligent per se. They have an intelligence generally of 3 or so. So they are basic animal intelligence, just instinctual behavior. Wander forward or back or left or right. They have no sense of self-preservation. If left to their own devices with nothing to stimulate that need to kill around them, they will just stand there and rot. They won't do anything. They're just walking sacks of meat. So, and not only that, but rotting meat, disgusting meat. I mean, imagine a 6-foot-tall oven-ready chicken that's been left out in the sun for a few days. It's going to reek, right? Stink. So zombies stink. They are horrid. I mean, you wouldn't even want to touch one. It's disgusting. It's a decomposing corpse. And believe me, decomposition is not a pretty thing when it's left completely just yuck. So, what do zombies do? They are they've got an armor class of 8 for your average humanoid, or even an ogre zombie. So they're easy to hit. They're slow, plodding, speed of 20 feet or 30 feet for a giant-sized one, or hover if it's a beholder zombie. It can fly at 20 feet, which is just slow. So they wander around and stagger around, and one zombie is not overly threatening unless you're basically trapped with this thing. So if you're stuck in a dungeon with this thing and you can't get out, and the zombie can chase you around, eventually you're going to be exhausted and have to sleep, and that's when the zombie gets you. Unless you find some way of killing it beforehand. They've got a hit point of 22 for your average humanoid. Now, the interesting thing of zombies is they're immune to poison or being poisoned. They can understand the languages that they understood in life, but they can't speak. They have night vision, even if they didn't have night vision in life. And their undead fortitude means that even if you kill them potentially with your attack, unless it's a critical strike, so you're lopping their head off or a limb or breaking their spine or whatever, or you are using positive energy, so angelic power or something like that, or clerical might to take them down, they can get back up again. All they've got to do is make a fortitude saving throw. Sorry, fortitude. A constitution saving throw. How 4th edition of me. So it's 5 plus the damage that you just did to them, which took them below that point of 0. And if they make that, then they get back up and they've still got 1 hit point. So it gives them that, getting back up from a potentially lethal blow, which is very disconcerting. So with a big crowd of them, that can be problematic. You can get swamped and overrun by zombies very well. They don't have any pack tactics or any way of working together or anything like that. But in combination with a necromancer who can heal them back up from death or bolster them somehow, they're extremely dangerous. Now, how do you use zombies in your game? They're a mindless creature, if you can call them that. They're a mindless sack of animated meat. They are basically dark magic, entropic energy, necromancy, bad juju that's concentrated itself into that flesh and caused it to have some semblance of a biological life. It doesn't in and of itself. The cells are dead, they don't move. If you take the energy away from the zombie, it will instantly drop. It's dead meat. The muscles are not really working. It's just they're twitching and stuff because dark energy is causing them to. It's not science, it's magic. So that's the reason why in modern science fiction, not fantasy, zombies have got some sort of, they're not really dead, they've just got some sort of disease or something like that. Because people kind of realize that dead flesh doesn't move, it can't move biologically, there's just no energy to move the cells. Anyway, so also zombies in D&D, their bite doesn't turn you into a zombie. They're just literally bludgeoning walking corpses that will just throttle anything. Now you can use them to horrific effect in so many different ways, taking advantage of the fact that you have empathy for these creatures because they were once living intelligent beings. And one of my favorite movies for that sort of zombie magical ethos is Pet Sematary. If you haven't watched Pet Sematary, go and watch it. Don't watch it in the dark. It's got some scary moments, particularly the cat. Ooh. So in this, they know that there's a Indian burial ground or something like that, and they call it the Pet Cemetery. And if you bury your pet there, the pet will come back to life and come back, but it's full of evil. So that's essentially what can happen with zombies. You don't even need to have a ritual or something in D&D to create a zombie. Zombies can just spontaneously generate. Let's say there was some sort of massacre in an area, many people, innocent people, were killed in horrific ways, or there was some sort of disaster and an orphanage burnt down or something, and that ground becomes tainted with negative energy. It's all the sorrow and grief and torment and pleas and piteous cries soak in and poison that land. And then say somebody is killed by a highwayman, or a body of a murderer is just dumped there, or something happens and somebody dies and they lie on that ground. Their body, that flesh soaks up that negative energy, and a zombie spontaneously rises from death. So it's a creepy, horrible thought, and then it comes wandering back into town. It's like, but I killed him, and the zombie is just like mindless, this blank thing which walks and goes to the nearest living thing. It could be a plant or an animal, or whatever catches its attention first, and just throttles it and kills it. No mercy whatsoever. Just goes up to a baby in a crib and just crushes it. That's what zombies do. They are driven, like opposite attracts, so their negative energy compels them to kill life. That's what they do. Like if a zombie is just left in a crypt by itself, there will be no lichen or anything in there, because the zombie will wander around and squish and kill every little bug and every little bit of plant matter it can find. It will kill everything living. It's just driven to. It will hunt it out remorselessly and attack and kill every living thing. That's what they do. So any sort of creature can be turned into a zombie. Anything that has living flesh can become zombified. So that can be dragons, that can be giants, titans, kraken, sharks, leopards, fleas, anything could become a zombie thing of itself. And you can have a wild array of different types of zombies that you can throw at players that they'd never be expecting, including detached zombie limbs, which can move around and do things. So yeah, have fun with that. Or even basic vermin like zombie rats or bats, or zombie packs of dogs, that sort of thing. You could have people who have learned how to control zombies to do, you make them to do horrific things. For instance, I once had a dungeon where there was a necromancer who lived there, and he was on a throne, and the adventurers come in theory, because they avoided this whole situation. They come in and they're walking across flagstones, and they're a little bit wobbly under their feet. They look down and they notice that there's fingertips around the edges of each flagstone, because underneath each flagstone, zombies and skeletons are holding them up under the command of this necromancer, and all he has to do is snap his fingers and they'll let the flagstones drop, adventurers in tow, and they will land in the bottom and be instantly swamped by a horde of the zombies and skeletons who just bludgeon and tear and rip them to shreds. The necromancer can also use the zombies like a sort of an automaton, like a organic robot, and they can make them do really grisly things like grab hold of you and walk backwards into some crushing rollers, like, so you basically get shredded and ground up. It's horrific, really. Also, you can have zombies which are performing horrific labors, so they'll be grabbing sacks of firewood and stuff and just walking them into the bonfire and setting themselves alight as they fuel the furnace of a necromancer who's engaged in some diabolical scheme, and he's got a huge supply of bodies. He just doesn't care. And necromancers, charlatans and things can bring back loved ones and say, here you go, here is your husband restored to you, and they've got horrific grievous wounds which never heal because it's just a dead corpse, and the wife is grief stricken and goes into denial, and she's like dressing this zombie husband up, and meanwhile it's like, and she has to like surreptitiously tie its hands down and stuff, and then she takes it to a dinner party, and you've got a zombie at the table and everybody's not talking about it. Horrible situations galore. Can be really horrible. Zombie children, zombie babies, zombie pets, kittens, anything. Let your mind wander into the possibilities. Zombies. Yeah. Quite different from the modern take of the zombie, which I also enjoy. And if you want to introduce the idea of a zombie that can spread its infection via plague, so bite or the fluids from a zombie's body being infectious, have fun with that too. You can have it as a byproduct of a spreading evil. So say a lich rises up in its lair from a long slumber. Its negative energy is so great that it spontaneously creates zombies just walking by graveyards and things. It can just pick them up and they rise from the grave. So yeah, zombies. Have fun, enjoy. If you've got any stories and things about how to use zombies in your campaigns, or interesting stories about how they've creeped you out, or the DMs, pulled really tricky situations, or ways that you fooled your players with zombies, like, I don't know, dressing one up like a lich and using the lich using it as a body double to fake its own death, tell me about it. I'd be most interested. Happy watch. Thanks for watching, and I'll be joining you very soon for more monster videos this weekend.